All right, guys. You know what time it is? Wednesday night. We got someone awesome on the podcast. I heard I heard you on Turf Nerds podcast, right, a few weeks ago. But I don't. Super cool guy. I don't really. I'm not going to claim to really know him yet. But he's just another fellow lawn guy that's out here grinding, and starting his business and doing his thing. And so, tell everybody a little bit of who you are, what you are, how old you are, what state you live in, all that. Go ahead and tell them.
Sure. So, name's Jason Smith. Um, Own Walnut Mountain Lawn Care in Youngsville, North Carolina, which is just outside of Wake Forest, which is just outside of Raleigh. Um, and that's where I'm at. I'm married. My wife Shannon, we've been married for 16 years. 16
Oh wow,
years.
that's
We've got
great.
four kids.
Yeah.
14, 13, 12. No, 14, 13, 11, 10.
Oh wow.
So it's fun times around here.
Yeah. So all your kids are kind of like grown-ups now, pretty much.
It it feels like that a lot of the times, and it's awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, the little kid stage was super cool, but it just gets even cooler.
Yeah, I can see some bikes out there in the background in your
Yep.
garage a little
Uh,
bit.
Actually, um, the what's just out of let's see, no, it's
Oh,
just out of
okay.
the frame.
Yeah.
Got a Evan would appreciate it. Got a little Segway action over there.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. So you have a Segway?
Yeah, so I've had it for like, gosh, my in-laws got it for me probably 5 or 6 years ago. And so over the past few weeks, I've been like, all right, I've got it. Let's just try this sucker out with the trimmer. And so I've been doing it on occasion, and I've I've been digging it.
Oh, wow. So you're able
It
to use
feels
it
kind
like
of like
in certain circumstances or something?
yeah. So doing there's one place that has a bunch of quite a bit of edging. And so the last time I did it, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna try it. And holy smokes, the speed that you can do that
Oh, wow.
is crazy. So it's helpful there, but especially I've got a couple really large properties, like 2, 3 acres, and it's one of those things where there's a horse barn way out to one side. So the weed eating is like around the house, around the mailbox, and then way around the horse barn, and then like one other spot. And I don't have a weed eater rack on the mower. That would probably make the most sense. But
Yeah.
so it's super helpful for getting from the house over to the horse barn and zipping in between the places to hop
Gotcha.
off real quick. That has been really helpful, actually.
That's cool.
Um, but you do feel like a complete goober.
Well, just until you get good at it, right? I mean, eventually it becomes if you did it every single day and you just made yourself do it. I don't know if that's what Evan's doing, but it seems kind of like
Right.
maybe that is what he's doing, but if you just like made yourself do that every day, I'm sure you could get so used to it that it wouldn't seem goofy because it would start to feel comfortable for you and how you move it around and stuff, you know. You just think
Yeah,
it might look goofy is what you're thinking, but
that's what I'm talking about. You feel like people are looking at you like, what a goober.
well, I don't care about that. It saves your legs a lot of hurting. I don't care
It's
about all that.
true. It's true.
So is it hard to like edge with it on there or do you just like trim like, flat ways?
I think edging is like the best part about it
Oh, really?
because you can just fly. Because so I have Echo 2620,
Uh-huh.
and I almost never use the thing on full power,
Right.
but because you're going so fast, it justifies the power kind of matches the speed then, so you can just squeeze that trigger and go.
Oh, wow. So are you going like is the string like like how are you doing it? Are you going like backwards? Are you going like forwards? Like how are
No,
you doing
I
the
haven't
edging?
figured out. So, all right, if I understand it right, when you say flip edging, if I'm flip trimming or whatever it's called, flip edging. So if I'm normally holding the trigger in my right hand, flip edging is where you're flipping. Hi.
Yeah, flip edging just where it's up sideways, right?
So is your left hand then holding the trigger?
Well, it's just however you feel comfortable doing it. How do you do it? A normal day.
So
There's no right or wrong way with it.
I just rotate it, still hold it kind of the same way, but just rotate it
That's
up.
what I do. Yeah, so I still go walk straight ahead.
Shot in the face.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. So I do that as well. Hang on, Willow. Do you want to listen? Do you want to? I'll plug in these headphones.
Oh, I'd love to say hi to Willow. Hang on, I'm gonna turn the fan on.
Here you go. Put the. Can you hear?
Oh, hang on.
Turn the fan on. Here, come over this way so we can see you in the camera.
Hi. Are you Willow? Hi, Willow. How old are you?
5. She said 5.
5. Awesome. What is your second favorite color?
Or what's your first favorite color, Willow?
No, second.
Second favorite? So he's saying, like, what's not your very most favorite, but one notch underneath that? What's, like, almost your favorite? I bet you pink is your favorite. Is that true? Do you think could purple be, like, in second place? Would purple be next favorite color, or do you like something else? Blue or something else? Blue? Are you sure? She doesn't even consider a second choice because it's just pink, There's nothing else. That's is the
awesome.
only color in her mind, that it should be, right?
I understand. So Willow, you want to know what my favorite color is? And I'm very passionate about this. My favorite color is brown, blue, gray, green.
Wow. So
I can't not pick one.
Yeah. It just kind of depends on what it is or what it's on, right? That's it kind of changes
all of them together.
Oh, really?
I love so much. I mean, not like smashed together. That's just ugly.
Yeah. I gotcha. So you're in North Carolina. What your phone number seems like an Atlanta area code. Is that true or not true?
Yeah. So
tell me a story on that.
Originally, we're from Atlanta. Grew up in Ackworth, Woodstock area.
Okay.
Both of my brothers my oldest brother he was one of those kids who in high school started doing lawn stuff and figured it out, and that's been his career, and he's made it work really well. He's got a couple crews. And then my other brother, the middle brother, I'm the youngest, he's got his own thing, and he's just solo, but they're both right there in that area doing the thing. And so that's where my wife and I are both from there. We started dating in high school, and then we both went to college in Virginia, and then moved here for graduate school. But then life happened, and then now we're moving on, and this is home.
I gotcha. That's cool. So graduate school. So do you have like another job besides lawn care or what?
So I like to say I'm living the part-time life. Because I work at UPS in the super early mornings.
Oh, that's cool.
What's gotten me, so the lawn story is that I grew up doing that stuff with my brothers, got married, went to college, moved here, and then had a few different jobs. Started working at UPS almost immediately after we got here, just doing a part-time early morning thing. Hey, is my microphone staying? Is it good?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's staying consistent. Like it's perfect.
All right. I just keep getting a pop-up, so I just want to make sure.
No, it sounds good.
And so it's a super early morning shift, like I don't know, 4 to 8 on average. And
4 in the morning to 8 in the morning?
Yeah.
So 4 hours?
And then I drove for 5 years, and then delivering packages, and then left that to go work for a company that was on my route, which nobody does. Nobody leaves UPS when you've reached that top pay. And that turned into a dumpster fire. And so we found ourselves at the beginning of last year I got fired, and I was like, what the heck are we going to do?
So was
And
that
so,
like a similar type business? Were you like delivering stuff or?
no, absolutely, completely different. So I love making things and doing stuff with my hands, and so that was a company that, well, my job ended up just being an assembler.
Gotcha.
For mostly, they did a lot of stuff for the military, so it was like putting together super cool inventions. It was basically like a R&D development engineering company,
Oh wow.
and I just put stuff together. But I also learned lots of really cool skills, soldering, which I hadn't really gotten into,
Soldering's
uh,
cool. Yeah.
using a laser engraver, um, which has to do with what I'm doing now too, and um, we're just working with metal in general. I'm a woodworker, and I hadn't really done much with metal, so that was a fun learning curve because they're different. I learned,
Yeah.
um, and so I love learning new stuff, and anything I can that builds my skills that I can do with my hands is always just I love it. And so, anyways, that went south. And so last year, thankfully, by God's kindness, I was able to get back into UPS, the part-time shift again. UPS is it's a whole machine
Yeah.
that once you leave, you can't get back to where you were. You start back at zero
Oh, I
and you have
gotcha.
to work your way back up. And so I was able to get back in, and the key with UPS is they part-time employees have full-time benefits,
Okay.
and they are truly unmatched anywhere. It's wild just how valuable the insurance is.
Uh-huh.
Um, and anyways, last year, uh, just kind of was like, well, we're on an acre, and I have a truck and a trailer anyways, and I was
Yeah.
like, well, I have all the stuff. I guess I'll try to go mow some yards. I know what I'm doing. And so yeah, then that went from I just got to provide somehow to I think this could actually be a thing. And so God provided what we needed last year. One job in particular. Most of my jobs ended up coming from the Nextdoor app,
Okay.
which
Yep.
I hate social media with a passion. And
Yeah.
so it still makes me mad how many of my yards came through Nextdoor. I'm like, dang it. I wanted it to come from me knocking on doors or something,
Mm-hmm.
but they came from Nextdoor. So I'm thankful. And one in particular, I call it the Jumanji yard, because it was a house and yard that reminded me of the house from the movie Jumanji, where it was just so overgrown. I mean, the classic one was as we were walking around the property the first day, she was like, yeah, there are hedges, just massive hedges everywhere. And she's like, I want to get the path back from the backyard to the front yard. I want to get it back. And I was like, where is a path? And we're like, where we were standing, she points into the shrubs and she's like, it's right here. And we get up underneath there and I see like paving stones.
Oh wow.
I was like, holy smokes. And so that was a huge way that God provided last year, because I just ended up doing like weekly, was out there a whole day for, gosh, 4 months, just one day a week out there just cleaning up, not mowing, just cleaning up. And so that was massive.
So she must
But
have had a lot of stuff to clean up, clean out.
oh geez, it was so much. It was just so they had it professionally landscaped like 30 years ago,
Right.
but like 12 years ago, her husband had some health issues or something, and so for basically 12 years, nothing has been
So
maintained,
stuff's overgrown. That's what you're saying.
and it was insane. Um, but I mean that was a massive way that God provided. Um, yeah, so last year it was starting with my little 42-inch Toro and 5x10 trailer, and Eventually last year, I found you and the Turf Nerds and some of the other guys out there and started listening uh, a whole lot and was super thankful. So thank you for what you
Yeah.
do. Bye, Willow.
She'll be in and out probably, but uh,
Awesome.
yeah. But that, yeah. Thank you for listening, and it's great that me and the other guys could just kind of come alongside you in your day and hopefully listen to you because we're just doing the same thing as you. Um,
Yeah, I just can't tell you how huge it's been to have some dudes who've been doing it, know little more what they're doing, and just to hear the experience and helps me think instead of like be proactive instead of reactive
right.
a little bit or prepare for the mistakes that I'm going to make.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, all of us are making mistakes all the time, but yeah, if someone else can let you know of some road bumps, that's cool. And
Yeah, I had no idea the community that exists, and so very thankful for all
so
you guys
when
are
did you
doing.
find that? Was that pretty recently?
No, that was pretty early last year because when I was getting started, because I was like, I don't know what the heck I need to be doing. I know how to cut grass and I know how to weed eat well. I don't know how to do this business part.
Yeah.
And before I started driving for UPS, I had a woodworking business for like 2 years, and that was just it was awful because it was a hobby that turned into a job,
I gotcha.
but I still treated it like it was a hobby, not a business. And so I did not want to do that again because that was miserable. And so that was what was I was just like, how can I learn while I'm working? And so I'm all about audiobooks or podcasts.
Yeah.
And so found you guys and binged a whole lot.
Oh wow. So it would if you ever get a chance to come to the expo and get to meet all the people, like that's really like real pinnacle of it.
I
Um,
know, y'all, all y'all talk about it, and I want to so bad. That is the downside of the UPS job is it's like I have so much vacation time, and it is not much.
right.
So it's like, well,
Just come for one day. You're not very far. You're in North Carolina. You're closer than most of us that are going there.
I wish it would. I wish it was at least the end of the week. The middle of the week is just
Yeah.
so hard
Yeah.
for me to get a day off, just because I'm low seniority and it's just tough to get a day off.
Right.
So
So you probably be delivering plenty of stuff when it comes towards Christmas, right?
so I don't deliver. I just load the trucks.
Well, you'll be loading a lot of trucks in for
I
Christmas.
will be loading up. I will be doing that. Yeah. So I had that job during COVID. So during COVID, we homeschool our kids,
I do
and I
as
worked
well.
there. Nice. And I worked at UPS, and so COVID happened, and we were like, well, I guess nothing is changing.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody else in the world was like, everything's different. And we're like, well, the kids are still at home, and I'm still working.
Yeah, I
All
guess
right.
it's same as normal. Yeah. Same for us too. It just more people wanted more stuff done in their lawns. Other than
Right.
that, I didn't really notice anything. Um, I mean, obviously there was a few weeks there it was weird. You couldn't even like go to grocery stores at certain times. I mean, there was wacky things, but overall life that is the good part about a landscaper. I mean, the grass is going to grow regardless. It doesn't care about COVID or anything. Same with UPS. If people are at home, they're still going to order packages and
Oh
stuff. They're
man.
still going to do
Oh yeah.
that.
Oh yeah. So yeah. And then this year, so I had plans for this year, for like going into this year, going, all right, here's what I want to focus on, and then in March, the week that really grass started growing, I was playing with our kids and the trees across the street, and uh, was teaching them how to jump from one tree to another.
Yeah, I heard that
And
on Evan's podcast. Yeah, it was
yeah,
cool.
so I fell,
But still
broke
tell
my
it,
neck.
because in case someone didn't hear it, you know.
Well, so it's funny now because I am okay, but I mean, I literally said the phrase, y'all, anybody come jump from tree to tree, just don't be an idiot.
Yeah.
And then I jumped from one tree to another, and the tree that I grabbed snapped and fell and landed on my back and broke my neck. And so went and had surgery. But I mean, it's all by God's kindness. And I don't know why, he let it be the best possible case scenario where tore the ligaments, fractured 3 vertebrae, but everything stayed aligned. They were able to fuse them all. And like we've got a friend of a friend this week who her husband was cleaning off his RV, fell off, and now he's like unresponsive and paralyzed. And it's like, oh my gosh, because he broke his neck.
Oh wow.
So this currently, like this moment, we are just kind of going, wow. I just need to be incredibly thankful
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
things
Yeah.
look so different.
Right. I mean, you would never be able to tell that by looking at you. I mean, you seem normal. So, that's pretty cool.
So yeah, so thankful. So my father-in-law is retired and they live 4 minutes away, and he is incredible and was just like, listen, if
So
your
did your
customers
did
want
your
us to do
wife's
it,
parents like move there too or something?
yeah. So we refused to move back to Georgia long enough that they eventually were like, okay, we're coming up there.
Oh wow.
Uh, and her brother, so they all live within like 5 minutes of us, and which they're the best. It's great. And so he was like, if your customers will let me, I'll take care of your yards until you're able to get back. And so that was just amazing, to be able to have that. And then with UPS, I was not only did insurance cover everything, but I had short-term disability, so I had at least some money coming in
Uh-huh.
from
Uh-huh.
that, which was just massive. So just thankful, so thankful.
Yeah.
But that also literally in the hospital at the ER, people were texting me. I had 2 different people text me about mowing the yard, and I was like, "Crap, I do not know what I'm about to do."
Yeah.
Um, so starting the year off like that at that time definitely made for a second unplanned year of or season of how to go about this, what I want to try to do. Because I think I was able to, I think June is when I was like fully back into it.
Okay.
And so I'd kind of lost a lot of that peak time to really go after the areas I was trying to,
Yeah,
do all that
advertising, all the things, yeah.
advertising. But as you know, thankfully, it wasn't a summer like last year. And so the yards that I did have, I mean, I do all biweekly. And I
Yep.
mean, quite a few of them, I didn't have to convince. I just asked, hey, do y'all want me to start going to weekly? And they were like, yes. Like, perfect.
Because we got a lot of rain this year. It's grown a lot,
Right.
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so that was crazy. Um, so that's kind of the story. Oh, and then along the way, because of my last job, I learned laser engraving and realized the potential that's there. And so we got a laser engraver and have been trying to build up this side thing of mostly it's like doing marketing stuff for like companies. So like that's my logo. It's can't really see it.
No, I can see it great. That looks awesome.
But like that's kind of you can go the Etsy route. Like everything on Etsy is done with a laser engraver. But I'm wanting to go more like local businesses who need marketing merch. So doing that on the side some too. trying to build that up.
So that was a cup. How do you laser engrave a metal cup? That isn't, or are you just laser engraving the material that goes on the cup? Like,
Yeah. So it's green and it's just etching that off.
oh, I gotcha. Yes. Yeah.
And so, yeah, maybe in laser engraved, kind of weird. It is more like etching. Um, but tumblers are kind of the low hanging fruit, but everybody has them and wants them, and it's just finding. But you could do, I mean, it can do like acrylic, leather, kind of anything. These are some thick. You'll get a kick out of these. These are some. This really you can't tell. It's really thick aluminum that we
Uh-huh.
made.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
So if you needed a man card, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. So you make like metal business cards maybe if someone wanted them or
Yes,
something?
that's mine, and they're cool. I don't know how worth it they are.
Oh, because they're expensive to like make and stuff?
Yeah, and just time consuming. But they're cool. I just don't know that I've gotten any work from having a cool business card.
Yeah. Yeah, so how have you gone about, so you're starting this kind of new, like how's it, is it only word of mouth? Did you like build a Google My Business? Like this is good info for guys. Like how did you do it, like starting from
Oh,
zero?
I've done none of the stuff you're supposed to do yet. I have a, a to-do list of within the next few weeks to get a Google page made because I need one. I know I'm supposed to have one. I don't have a Facebook. I don't have anything you're supposed to do. Um, but it's mostly been next door, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Then my wife and kids last year went to a few different neighborhoods nearby and just went and did door hangers.
Oh, wow. That's a
Gotten
good idea.
I've got a handful from those. Um, and then this year, another way that God has provided, and I mean, I guess it would have been July maybe. I was doing a yard in our neighborhood, and an older guy, comes by and has a trailer, and he's like, "Hey, are you solo or do you work for somebody?" I was like, "No, I'm solo." And he's like, I need some help. I've got a company and I need some help. And we just start talking, and that's turned into this really amazing relationship that I don't understand how he runs his business, but I'm so he's unofficially, he hasn't given me the yards yet, but we've talked about he's just gonna next year he's just gonna offload quite a few of them to me. So I've been doing 14 of his yards,
Oh, wow.
and that's been massive for me. And so a lot of them are really tight, and so it's kind of a that kind of happened, like I said, probably July. So not that far after I started getting back into it. And so between the stuff that I had and then this stuff, that's been able to fill an okay schedule.
Yeah.
My stuff is just super spread out, and that's one of the things that next year I want to
So could you
work.
like mow his yards for a certain number of time for him, and that would be like your payment to like get him from, that way he would feel super blessed by the transaction and you get the yard and
I think he literally is just gonna give them to me. It's He's a super friendly fella, super nice guy. But like I said, I don't know that he is a business mogul. And I don't understand. I'm pretty sure he loses money with me doing these yards. I don't understand. I'm just like, I'll help you, dude. And I'm even doing them for less than I would charge. And he knows that. We've talked about it. And but since they're so tight, I'm like, well, yeah, I'll do them for less because I've had to do no work to get these. But they're so. I mean, one spot in particular is 5 yards, one stop, which that's what you want.
yeah.
So for me, it's like, well, yeah, I'll do them for a lower price for right now because this is perfect. And I didn't have to do anything. So I think he's just gonna give them to me and be like, here. I mean, he's already talked to some of the homeowners about like, hey, he's gonna take over. So I'm just floored and thankful, and I'm trying to just help him out the best that I can, however I can. I know he's got a lot on his plate, but yeah, I super friendly guy. But every time we talk, I'm like, I don't understand how you're making money based on our conversations.
What do you think, he's like undercharging them or something, or?
Oh gosh, yeah. Oh, so much undercharging. And he says he charges $1 a minute. I mean, sorry, $1 an hour, but no, $1 a minute.
Dollar a minute, yeah, that's right.
But
Or that would be
yeah,
close, yeah.
but so many of them are like, 25-minute yards, and it's like, I hear the $1 a minute thing, but if you're really charging $25,
Yeah, right.
you can't do that and actually make this worthwhile. And then like one yard that I did for him, and I only did it one time because I told him what I would charge, because it took me 2.5 hours, and I was like, how much do you charge? And he was like, $75. It's like, like, dude, you can't do that. So I'm just, man, I'm just thankful. I'm just a recipient of God's kindness.
Yeah.
And this guy's and he, like I said, I know he's got a lot on his plate and he's struggling with some different stuff. And so he's already told me he's not even sure if he's going to keep doing it next year. So right now, I'm kind of just holding off on, what exactly I want to do next year, because I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen with him and these yards. And so I do have a plan for next year that I've finally thought through this week, that I'm excited about. It's not the normal plan. Can I pitch it to you? Because I'd be curious about your.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So there's these three developments near us that are. Have you heard of LGI homes?
No.
Think of like KB homes,
Right.
except not even up to that standard. Who's that? Hey girl, you want to come say hi? Hi. This is Tony.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Really good.
This is Edith. She's our youngest.
Oh wow. My daughter was on here a few minutes ago as well. She came and left, but
talking to Mr. Tony. He's one of the podcast guys that I listen to that's helped me so much. He can tell you, do I talk about the podcast guys? Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
Tony's a family name.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Hey.
I say maybe like, if those 14 yards, and then if you have to change the price of them, then a few of them might leave, and you might keep a few of them, and then a few of them something else. I don't know. I probably wouldn't base my business on that, because let's say you wind up with 6 of those good ones. Well, I mean, that's great, but
Well, I think there's probably, if he just stops, that's part of what it's an awkward kind of relationship, because I'm not gonna say, hey, will you just give me these yards that I've been doing? I don't want to necessarily say that right now, because he's just paying me the price that I'm telling him as I'm working with him. So there's no reason for me to do something like that. And then now though, with him saying he doesn't even know if he's going to do the business anymore next year, like, I don't want to be like, hey, what does that mean? It's just a tricky spot, I don't want to.
I say
step on his toes.
Yeah. Well, I say,
But
what are those, like, let's say let's say someone called up and you didn't know the person or anything, and they had these yards, and like if you could rewind it to the first day you met them, and you think
Right.
about, what is a price that would, it would be a super blessing to me. Like it would be I'm not talking about like 30,000 or something like. I'm talking about hundreds of dollars. Let's say you give them, let's say you figure out, hey, what if I pay you this much money? I don't know, whatever it is. So I don't care if it's $100 for the ones that stay with me, and then you just walk away and I just give that to you. Like that's what I would do. My situation, or if that happened today, because I want 20 years from now, I want him to feel like, man, that guy was amazing. He did so good by me, and it's just a principle of it. Even if it's not a lot of money, just that you're saying, to just like you're saying, you don't really know where he's at and stuff, and that's why you could just kind of call this forth like, hey, I want to pay you this much money, or what, could I pay you this, and you just walk away. You just ask him that, and he'd be like, oh, well, because, maybe he would be, but let's say he gave them all to you. How would he, 5 years from now, if he has an amazing feeling about you and continues to turn you on to more work and just all this, if you make that relationship blossom, it would be totally worth the few $100s or whatever it is, because
Yeah, that's a really good thought.
it is expensive, to get, to do the advertising, to get the customers. Obviously, you will get more customers, but those customers are worth money. Like, even in my example, I have a friend that has a yard that's next door to one of mine. And, I told, and that homeowner kind of knows about me and stuff, but I told my friend, I mean, he's a competitor, he's a friend, and I told him, I said, hey, if you ever want to stop doing this yard, I'll pay you money, to walk away from it. We'll figure out what that'll cost, and if the homeowner will accept me, and boom, I'll pay you money. And they'll say, oh no, you don't have to do that, whatever. But no, but it'd be better to do that. I want to be a blessing to him, and you'll get blessing back from it. Like, I'm not saying crazy money, because you may not keep
No,
them
I
all, all these
appreciate
things,
that.
but
In you saying that, I think I've not realized how I've probably been going, uh, giving into probably some greed and just trying to get what I can get. And that's a really good call. And that's worth considering for sure. So thank you.
I just think that's something to think about, because you
Yeah,
don't want to come off. I don't think you're greedy, but I'm just saying, if let's say I didn't know you and you just tell me those specs, and maybe he's trying to feel it out. He's trying to feel like, how, am I gonna just give them to him, and if I do, is that cool? Like, I'm saying, you're the one that's entering and wanting to pick up this business. I say you spearhead it and just make him an offer. That's what I would do. Then that shows you are just fully showing full respect to him. And like, what are these
yeah,
yards worth? They're not worth 30,000, but they're worth, I don't know. Like, if if you're able to just pick up the phone and get more today, and you'll get more yards and all that. Like, don't make a big deal about it. But hey, if they're worth $500, offer them 500. If they're worth 100, offer them. What are they worth to you? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Knowing that they may not stay, or knowing whatever, or maybe you tell them, hey, I'll pay you this amount for the customers I'm able to go and talk to, and like, they'll definitely keep me on. You could even, it'd be worth it on some of your days off to ride around, go sit on these people's porch and figure out, what are your thoughts, about this? This is what's going on. He's,
yeah,
thinking about quitting. You see me mow the lawn. What do you think of, just go be honest with the people. Like, well, what do you think? Do you
right,
just going to move on to something else? You can tell them, like, I'm probably going to pay this guy for this account. Are you going to keep me? Are you not? Like, you can ask them that when you're there. I mean, just be
right.
honest with them about it. Um, and they will, you'll be blessed by that. But you'll be blessed by, being honest with the guy, being honest with the customers. This is all part of how a great business, grows. It's just being honest with the people. Um, and I'm not saying you're not, but I'm saying that's how I would approach. If a guy, like right now, if I would like to have a couple more in the neighborhoods I'm in, and if, like I said, one of my competitors have, I'd be ready to pay him some money and buy him right now. Even though I don't really want to spend the money or do that on it right now, still do that. Because a year from now, that they would be worth, a said price,
Right.
and you could figure out what that was, but and if he's like, no, I just want to give them to you or whatever, well, still maybe you offer him a few $100s as a thank you, and then
Yeah.
he's blown away. He's blown away by the thought of that, and it could be a great thing. Then forever, this you're on the right side of this relationship. It's not worth severing that just for a few $100s. You know what I'm saying?
No, you're absolutely right, and I really appreciate that. I know money's tight with us
Oh,
because
absolutely. Yeah.
we're still not crushing it yet. But all that's been on my mind is like, how can I be making money? And I haven't stopped to consider how can I bless him. So I appreciate that.
Oh, and it's the
That's
same
good.
for all of us. I mean, my wife doesn't work outside the home, um, everybody, is like, things are crazy. I'm having a third kid and doing all kinds of, extracurricular medical things also. I mean, yeah, all of us are spending a lot of our money and all that. I mean, all of us are in that boat, but still how we win long term is doing right in the little things. I really believe that because there's no way that I would have the route that I have right now, other than I just try to be really honest with the people and just tell them everything, and my competitors and whoever else, and obviously I'm not saying I have this figured out. I don't have this figured out. I need to work on that, but you just described a situation, and this guy sounds like a cool guy, and let's say you're 70 years old and you run up, or however, I'm not saying he's 70, but whatever. Let's say you're been in the business forever. You roll up on this guy. You meet this younger guy. You kind of like him. This and that. What would you want him to do? In that situation. Um,
That's some really good wisdom, and I've got to give that some thought. That's really great. I appreciate that.
or that's why I mentioned right in the beginning. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's because of like you're saying. Because things are tight or whatever. Maybe that's why I mentioned maybe, hey, I go and do these, a month of the mowings, and you just keep the money, and
Right.
like you don't. I mean, you're paying them, but you're not paying them. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or figure out something like that. Same that that could be same thing. Um, then that's a huge blessing. Like, hey, I mow them for a month. You bill them, take the money. Then after that, boom. It's change
Right.
hands. And I would
Yeah.
try to, if you're going to these customers' houses, I would try to connect with the customers because you never know.
Yeah.
You just don't know
Most of them
what
I
the.
already have.
Oh,
Most of them I
okay.
already have. That's what made me realize he's already talked to them because I'm mowing away one day, and one of the ladies comes out, this older lady, and she's like, "Hey, I got a question." I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "How much are you going to charge?" And I said, "What?" She goes, "How much are you going to charge? When you take over." I was like, I got to talk to him." Like,
Yeah.
because I hadn't even like I we hadn't really said anything, but obviously he's talked to her about it, and I was like, "Oh, okay." So I've been able to interact with almost all of them at this point, because it's been 3, 4 months maybe that I've been doing them. Um, so yeah, I'm just trying to gauge when to, because if he's not gonna stop, then I don't want him. I don't want to take the yards from him
Right.
if he needs them, and so that's why it's a weird kind of relate. I'm just trying to feel out exactly what he's planning on doing, um, and he's just a trip to talk to, high energy,
Yeah.
and there's the whole analogy of just the whole distraction squirrel thing,
Right. Right.
that people say, like, he's all squirrel all the time. So I mean, like, talking to him is like, all right, we got it. Hey, let's come back. Let's come back to this. Let's get.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just going a million miles an hour every direction, and I'm like, hey, I need to talk to you about this.
Right. Yeah. Well,
So
and it,
yeah,
I say just have the conversation with them. Like, hey, what are you thinking? What do you want to do? It's less weird if you just go ahead and just like, hey, let's meet for lunch and let's just talk about this thing. And in the
Right.
off season when you have time or whatever. But
Yeah, and I think that's what we've both just been waiting for everything to slow down.
Yeah.
And then I know we're gonna have that conversation. I think we just kind of been waiting for it to slow down because he's alluded to he wants to talk about it and I want to talk. So it's just getting to that point where we can actually sit.
But
and talk about
tell me about the rest of your plan. Like, just figure, hey, if that works out, great. If not, no big deal. Like, just assume that he's not going to give you any yards and he's just going to keep mowing them and he just likes your camaraderie of stop and ramble with you and stuff. If that happens, okay, fine. Like, what is the rest of your, the other part of your business plan?
So what I've landed on currently so I was saying there's those 3 developments that are all within, I don't know, 5 minutes of our neighborhood. And because right now I'm everywhere, all different types of yards, which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
I definitely want to be dialed in next year. I don't have enough yards, and I'm too spread out, so that combo is just bad.
But that's how everyone starts, so there's nothing
Sure.
wrong with that. Every single person
Right.
starts like that. Yeah.
So I'm able to. I still am viewing myself almost as like an empty slate of like I can still do whatever I want to, take it wherever I want to, because I don't have, so where I've shifted to is these 3 neighborhoods they're entry-level homes. They are not, now I don't want to insult anybody if they've bought these homes, but like they're just not top. They're starter
Right.
homes.
Yeah. Just development homes. Yeah.
They're cookie cutter homes. And these in particular have been like the sod, they're all Bermuda. And I mean, it is just horrible. It does not grow or grows very little.
You're almost in transition zone. You're almost too north for Bermuda there. I mean,
there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
But it's however they graded or built or prepared I think they just threw a bunch of sod straight onto clay.
Right. Probably they did. Yeah.
That's what you get. But so there's no hedges, no trees. It's just grass that's going to grow 6 months out of the year.
Right.
Barely. And so where I'm currently leaning towards is actually just trying to hit these 3 developments super hard.
Okay.
And try to come up with like a 6-month service agreement, or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And pitch that idea like there's going to be bi-weekly, because they don't need weekly.
Right.
They don't grow that much. So essentially come up with some sort of really clear plan of like, here's a 13 mows from April to October. Here's the price. Maybe a cheaper price if you want to pay in full. And I want to you've got me hooked on to Helsum.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Actually, we just got hooked up to that for our laser stuff.
Oh, wow.
Because we've needed a way to take credit card payments. And so I was like, well, I know Tony's talked about this, and I probably want to use this next year anyways. So my goal for maybe in 2 years, probably not next year, the idea would be to get 120 homes between these 3 neighborhoods, and just plan on April to October.
Right.
Because that's where the whole UPS thing does come in, and could be, because if I did that, then I don't, and plan well, save properly.
Right.
Then I don't have to do anything for the other 6 months.
And UPS will be busy as well during the winter and all that.
Yeah, because UPS, but then, if I've saved properly, then that would work out and it would all balance out. And so I think that's what I want to shoot for next year.
I think it's a good
And
plan.
just try to get as many, because that also allows time, because I'm doing so many things that a new business owner is not supposed to do, like trying to start two businesses at one time
Yeah, well,
while working a third job.
right.
Nobody's gonna that you're not gonna read that in a book.
Well, I would say figure out like a price because you know they're cookie cutter. You know, like what even if you can't see like part of the backyard or something, you kind of know they're gonna be this lot size. And then
Oh yeah,
if you have like a door hanger or something, I would put the price on there because see, people are worried. They're just bought a home. They're like, okay, I got this lawn service, but I'm like, am I gonna call them and it's gonna be $120 a week, and then I'm gonna feel bad because he like
right,
came and talked to me, and then I can't afford that, and then what I'm saying, these are all the things that go through people's mind, and then they just don't call, right?
right,
So what I'm saying is like, how do you move the person all the way to checking out as fast as possible? Just like Amazon, that's how UPS works, right? You just, hey, I see that water bottle I want. It's this price. It'll be here tomorrow. Just click this button. Boom. So
right,
like as fast as you can move them along, like if your door hanger says, hey, it's this a month, this is our 6-month plan. It's this amount per month. Or if you want to pay the season in full, it's this few $100s. Scan this QR code to get signed up today. Boom. Done. And they,
yep.
they,
I like it.
yeah. And you can explain the Helsum thing. A lot of people like that. Especially, people, especially younger folks and stuff, they're not into writing
Right,
checks and all that mess. They're just not. People that are, in their 40s or below,
right.
they barely, some people probably don't even know how to write a check. You know what I mean? It's just that it is what it is. But that's what I would do because then they already feel comfortable when they call because they already know what the price is. That's the biggest
Yeah,
obstacle, and you already got that out of the way. And if you know what these houses are, then yes, someone may have a trampoline, someone may not, and yes,
sure.
so maybe there's 5 extra minutes that you eat or something, but that you eat that time. But if you think about, hey, I want to dominate this neighborhood, I'm gonna do them for this price. The faster as if you can already be over all these hurdles that other competitors are gonna send them in, then you can just boom. That's how you pick them up. That's how you do it. Like,
Right.
and that kind of goes back to our honesty thing and all that. Like, you don't have to try to woo them in with your fancy slogan and like do this and that.
Don't worry,
Meanwhile,
I don't have one.
yeah, uh, the guy who just tells them, hey, this is the price. I'll be here every week. I have
Right,
15 references in your neighborhood. As you start to pick up these people, I do. You can even start sending them letters as you pick up some. Like I do house 101, 102, 103,
right,
and I can do yours for this price. And boom, this is just automatic credibility. People are like, oh, well, I seen that house down there. I seen them down there. I seen them do it. Seemed like a decent guy. Okay, their yard looks good. Okay, it's this price. Okay, boom. You're going to be way far ahead than all the people on Google and all that just because you're taking away all these steps that are in their mind. And
So the two caveats with this, that is, I mean, obviously it's all a risk, but it's so because I've already got customers in there, they are definitely people who my guess is based on when these neighborhoods were built, probably bought when everything was super high and people are in these neighborhoods for the most part, I think pretty tight financially.
I gotcha.
And a bunch of them are renters. So the houses are owned by some. A couple people have told me are owned. A bunch of the houses are owned, by some firm in India, and they just rent out the houses. So it could be a lot of swinging doors. And then there's the whole option of trying to get in touch with that company. That's maybe, I don't know. That's for a different thing. But the other thing is that oh shoot, it was.
Well, I don't think
Oh,
6 months
I know
is a long time. Like, let's say you tried it. 6 months goes by fast. I mean,
right.
June to now, is whatever. That's almost
That's
six
true.
months. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if you just say, hey, I'm gonna go give it my best shot for a season, and worst case scenario, it's just a few months. It's not a big deal.
Yep. So that's why I'm like, well, I'm kind of a clean slate. Let me just see if I can go at it and see if this works. Because that was the other thing, is that I know they're not the ideal customer. I know that. But somebody's got to mow these yards.
Right.
And
well, maybe they are your ideal customer, because here's why. Even people in the, lower, I wouldn't say lower, but let's say these are middle class, things. I mean, anyone that's living in a new development, either they're paying a lot of money for rent, right? Just like a house I did the other day that I videoed. Like, it's someone that they rent this house, but it's expensive, to rent that, in these developments still. And then these people, maybe they just moved there. They have to buy a mower. Mowers are very expensive nowadays. Even a push mower, whatever, it's just a lot of money. And then people have to actually do the work, and it's hot out there during this 6 months, and people are busy. They don't have time. They have kids, all this. So maybe it is your perfect customer. Yeah, they're not going to have you install a stone patio or something in the back, but that doesn't mean they're not your, ideal client. Like, even the lawn care millionaire. Well, he has 10,000 yards in the Dallas area, and a lot of these small little yards where you just push mows them. He does the same thing. It's this amount of price. It's it's $40, $30, whatever it is, and boom, he just crams out a ton of them. And maybe that is your ideal client. Why does your ideal client? Why does that mean they have a mansion or something? I mean, the client's ideal with.
I'm just saying that because of interacting with them, and I mean $5 because the grass is slightly higher than over the summer. I didn't do a backyard for a few weeks, and I was like, hey, since it hasn't, since you didn't want me to do it for the past 3 weeks, I'm gonna have to charge you $5 more. And it was like, oh, I can't do that. That's what I mean by it's like a lot of them I know are very tight financially. So that's all I mean by that. Not that I'm looking for millionaires, but I know it's gonna be they're looking for the cheapest guy. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
And so, but I also have seen it the other way where, there's this whole idea of find the ideal customer, but I feel like I've seen it where you can make the ideal customer. Just because the bar in the industry, I mean, I know you guys talk a lot about how it is being raised, and I do see that. But also, almost every single customer I have is like, you're great. My last guy just stopped showing up. I'm like, it's not hard. You just show up and you do it. And so because the bar is so low, I do feel like you can make people into your ideal customer by just like what you're saying. You treat them right, do a good job, and they're like, wow, and another customer was like, he was like, you're the best lawn guy I've ever had in the last 10 years. I was like, I mean, I just cut the grass, weedy, make it look good. He's like, I'm just telling you, I've had a whole bunch of lawn guys and none of them. And I'm just like, okay, cool. But so we hear a lot this idea of the ideal customer, but I just feel like there's something to this idea of you make the ideal customer based on
and maybe just
the work you do. Not necessarily everybody, but a lot of them will all of a sudden be willing to pay more, or to flip the scenario, if they did drop you, and I think you've talked about this, if they did drop you all of a sudden and get somebody else, all of a sudden they realize what they had, and they're like, oh, maybe maybe it is worth paying that, or
whatever. Absolutely. Yeah, and I think maybe just, if there's a few main things that you feel like could be concern over that time, maybe just address that in the first meeting, or in the, spell this out. Like, hey, if the back gate's locked and I can't get back there or something, what is your package? Like, you could tell them, hey, I'm still charging you this amount for this 6 months. Like, if you don't want me to mow the backyard for some reason, I'm just telling you, I still have to charge because I still have to come, all that. Like, just try to, if you feel like those things are going to be a problem, go ahead and go over this before you even start. And you could even have all that in writing. Like, hey, if I come and you don't want me to mow the backyard, that's fine, but I'm still charging for my visit, Okay, then at least they know that. They just, see, I think it's a little hard for them if they're like, if they didn't know, if they think, well, maybe I ask him and maybe he won't cut it this week and then maybe he'll just cut it same price. Like if you just get ahead of all those things, um, again, just taking this stuff out, like taking out any of the guesswork, things about it.
Right.
Just tell them, hey, this is the package. This is, take it or leave it. It's a great package. It's competitive. You can, do your research and you kind of know what's around and that kind of thing. I think if you just kind of address some things that you feel like may be a problem, whether it's lock gates or, are you still going to come, let's say you do have a dry month in there. Maybe part of the package, hey, well, are we still going to charge that same amount, for the 6 months? I don't know, like figure out how do you want to handle that? And like I tell them all that up front, like when they start to go the sign up process. So like there's no, oh, well, will he do this or will we charge for this or will he not? Or, and
Raleigh Spencer just did the episode that I listened to today. He just did a service agreement stuff. Thanks. Love you. And that was super helpful to like just hear some top level ideas of like, think about these things in your service agreements. Like that was so helpful.
Yeah.
Again, podcast guys, y'all are doing so much for us newbies out here.
Well, we're all learning new things every year. And I think, I think approach it though, don't approach it like, hey, this is our list of 50 terms and we're trying to like, we're trying to stick you with this, abstract contract. Don't approach it like that. Approach it like, hey, I'm just being honest with you. This is how my business runs. This is how I pay my bills. This is how I eat food, all these things. How you doing, bud?
Hey.
Hi.
Hey, this is Tony.
Hi.
This is Schaefer.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. You're a cool looking dude.
Thank you.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know you, but you just look cool. I just wish I looked as cool as you.
I think you look cooler than me.
No, I don't think so. That's cool. So I know it's my kids they're probably, hitting bedtime as well, but yeah, that's neat. Yeah, I'm blessed to know your dad and I consider myself friends of both of you guys, so it's cool. You never know. Hopefully we'll get to meet sometime in our lives,
Hopefully.
Maybe.
Schaefer, he's done a couple of yards with me.
Well, that's great. Yeah, and I mean, maybe if you fast forward out another year of the expo, I mean, think about these things because it is very encouraging. It's very good. Like, you would not regret the trip. It's a tax write-off, all these things. I'm saying maybe not this year, but maybe you say, hey, plan it a year out,
I want to. I'll have to figure out how to make it happen.
Yeah, and even you see where you're at, UPS and all that. But yeah, so I just think approach it with the client. Let's say this client was your friend, but you gotta charge them. You gotta do business with them, but you're just gonna be honest with them, like, hey, I gotta make money doing this thing. This is your price for this amount of months. Maybe it's harder in some parts of the year. It's more mowing than other parts of the year. Some parts of the year have more weeds than other parts. The grass grows more than other parts. But this is my price, like, for this 6 months, the setup, like you said, and this is what we do,
Yeah.
And I think it's a very good price. I think that's definitely possible. People just don't like guesswork. This is nowadays in 2025 Amazon. It just, here's what it is. You buy it, boom, it's done. That's why I think it's a good idea. If you figure, hey, it's not going to need something outside of these 6 months, well, you tell them, hey, we mow from this date to this date. It's this price from this date to this date. Here's what it includes. We mow everywhere, and even if we don't, we have to do more work the next week because we didn't mow the backyard. So it's still going to be the same price. But like, you just keep it simple, and they just know all these things right going into it. And boom, hopefully you just line up 80% of the neighborhood does the same thing. That'd be great.
Right. And I'm part of the idea there is that I know, the lawn guys lawn guys are trying to get as many yards as they can, but I also don't know how much of a priority these particular neighborhoods are
Right.
For a lot of companies, because they're just because this season is so short. And for guys with employees, I don't think they're caring about these, because it's just such
Right.
a short season that they've got to figure out how they can pay their people for the other 6 months. And yeah, so that's the plan for next year. And who knows, if it all goes to crap, then
No, I don't think it will. I think it's a great plan. And then, you could always start doing soil tests and work on, let's say it is the sod is plopped onto the clay. You can always, work on changing that. If you want to change how their lawn looks, there's always things you can do.
yeah.
And maybe they do that, maybe they don't. But hey, maybe if someone just goes with the base package, it's still not bad. You line up a bunch of them, might be a great life, a great simple life for you. The problem, like with the clients I have, is nothing is simple. Nothing is simple. Every single person has weird little things that they want, and I didn't, seasonal color on this side of the door. Well, this flower, it grew 3 inches taller than this one over here because that's nature, right? And they're not happy with that. We're gonna take it out. We got to redo it. What I'm saying? There's just like, there's and why I had a call, and the lady, someone had me out, and they're like, I called my company because I wasn't happy because this side both sides, it looks beautiful. They got these little like lilies, these multicolored lilies hanging over these pansies and stuff. I mean, great. It looks great. But yes, this one over here is slightly taller than over here. But maybe the sun's a little different, whatever. So these are just, there's different problems with what I'm saying is there is definitely annoyances to customers that are high end. That's annoying. Every day I'm dealing with these different things, or, oh, I saw a baby deer over here behind this bush and I don't want you to like disturb them. And like, there's people that they worry about different things in different brackets. So it doesn't mean like, if you just have clients that are kind of more, base, mow 6 months, edge blow and go, everybody's paid, everybody's happy. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not, I'm saying don't think, oh, well, I have to have this type of person or I have to have this huge commercial account and then like that will make me happy. Because there's problems with that. There's problems with the customers I have. There will be problems with the customers you have, but they're all different. And there will be pros and cons to them. But figuring out what you want, is the biggest thing. For me, I don't mind dealing with this thing, because again, this annoys companies and stuff talking about these flowers on the other side. So if I can just not let this really get under my skin and just be like, yes, hey, if you want me to take this out, we can redo it. Just try to address their silly situation. If you can just, keep your mind in check and don't let these things bother you, it can be a great business, So that's what I'm saying. There's going to be things like that, on all these clients, whether they're cheap clients. Cheap clients aren't bad, Hey, if you have a very simple setup, all you got to do is mow, trim, and blow and hit all these yards. That's great. In my opinion, I'm like, man, that'd be a nice day. Be a nice day for me, because I'm doing all these kind of crazy plantings, prunings. I'm hand pruning stuff. I'm doing just all kind of wacky things, and it's fine.
Right.
But I mean, there's value in cutting cookie cutter homes that are simple. And yes, the ticket item is not as high, but they're not as high maintenance or there's not as much involved with them either. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think it's a great, and yeah, that's not your 10-year master business plan, but that's okay. Maybe you give it a shot for a season, or maybe you advertise in there and then also have an option too. Hey, I'm also advertising this other neighborhood. I don't know how many homes are in there, but
there might be around. I think there might be around 400 between these 3 different neighborhoods, but they're all half developed. There's
right. Yeah, I know how that works. Yeah,
available.
right. There's like phases to it, and ones that aren't finished, and blah blah blah. Yeah, and I mean, if you really wanted to get serious about it, you start walking up to people and start doing them a free cut just to show them what it would be like, which is crazy. But, if you put that foot forward and just show them like, hey, no strings attached, I don't need or want anything. Just, I'm just being honest with him. Like, hey, I'm trying to mow like almost all these yards in this neighborhood, and I just want to show you what I'm about. Boom, just mow it. With their permission, of course, but like, there's amazing power in that. Just like the other day, there was a neighbor, an older guy out there next to one of my houses. The leaves are falling really fast, and he has, those blowers, like he had like the extension cord out there.
Oh yeah.
I'm not talking about like a nice like cordless blower. I'm talking about, this, yeah. So he was out there fighting with it, and I was like, well, I'm going to go back up the truck. Now again, this is a no solicitation, no trespassing. None of that is allowed in this neighborhood. But I'm like, I'm going up there when I had this carrying sticks in my arm, debris that this other customer, whatever. So I'm like, when I get back up the truck, I'm walking right now, and I can see him out there. I'm like, I'm going to put some more gas in this blower. I'm going to go down, and I'm just going to help him blow off his driveway right now. I just decided I was going to do that, right? It's not even legal or anything, but you have to do these things as a business owner, right? And then I just said, hey, I'm Tony. I'm not, I don't need or want anything. Like, I'm not giving you my number, any of that stuff. I work for those people over there, and I want to meet you because you're a neighbor, and they're great people, and we just wanted to meet you. That's all. Boom. And I was like, I'm going to help you blow off this driveway. Boom. I helped blow it off. I took 5 or 10 minutes. Yes, I didn't get paid for that, but you never know. And
Sure.
then he comes time where now, he's getting older, and he's think about, man, I really am going to have to get someone to do this. Well, who's the first person is he going to go on Google and research someone, or is he going to remember, oh, the guy, he mows next door, and he was nice, and he came and just blew off my driveway for me. Boom. I'll be the first one he thinks of. And that, for me, to me, I think that's one of the cheapest advertising you can do. It took me 5 minutes. It was all good. And, and then when I got done, he's like, hey, could I, dig out this bush? You know how this goes. Like, even though I don't think he really wants me to do the maintenance right now, he's like, what if I don't like how big this is getting. Could we dig this out? And I'm like, yeah, I could do that this winter or something. I didn't advertise to him. I didn't give him my phone number, nothing. But if he really wanted to find me, he knows how he could find me, right? And then I figure, well, in the years coming, he's going to see my truck parked out there. He's going to, I would have met him. And yes, it's a little uncomfortable. It's not even legal what I did, but as business owner, we have to do these things. We have to keep making these uncomfortable things, and that's how we win. And so same thing with these neighborhood. Hey, if you want to dominate this neighborhood, send them, all of them, something in the mail. Okay. A couple of them will respond. Then go door to door and like, hey, I sent you this in the mail. Just wanted to also, introduce myself. I'm, here I am, me. Like you may have to go several times, you may have to hit it hard in different ways, if you really want to zone in on this thing. And if you get some no's or people slam the door or whatever, it's fine. Worst they can say is no,
Right.
And you just, and that but that goes for any clients, any of these, it's just part of business, and it's a different mindset, from working for someone to doing this, but like these are the things. Okay, UPS, whoever owns UPS, they're having these hard conversations. They're like, hey, Amazon, we can deliver all your stuff for this, and we'll do it for you. Like they're having these conversations. Somebody's having these conversations.
I don't know, man. UPS is a strange place.
I know that, but I'm saying that's how this went down. Some point in time.
That is good. I'm thinking about it's funny. It's funny. I haven't thought about that with the lawn stuff. Doing a cutting somebody's yard for free. I know you don't want to do that for everything. But like with the laser business, tomorrow I'm not doing any lawns, but I am doing some laser engraving, and like a handful of the items are because I've met a few people, because I've got a plan and I've got something that I'm trying to do, that I met them this week, and I'm going to be making them some tumblers that are like personalized to go give them, because I know freebies matter a lot. Like in trying to build that type of relationship. And so it's funny you say that. It hasn't even crossed my mind. Like, oh yeah, that probably would work with the lawn stuff too. If
Absolutely.
It makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. If you have a chance, you're in that neighborhood. Just depends on how bad do you want to dominate that. If you want to dominate it, you might have to give first, to get, it's just how this works, Same thing with this other guy. You might buy his lawns. We're going to have to give on the front end, to gain on the back end. That's just how this works. And yeah, I think that's cool. I mean, I think it can definitely be done. You know, if you send them stuff and go talk to them, and maybe most some people give them some free cuts, and just kind of figure out, you know, hey, I can it can definitely be done. You can dominate that neighborhood. I'm telling you, if you want it bad enough. But also maybe you could advertise there, and okay, another area, maybe I'll try this area. Maybe you get more bites over in this other area for whatever
Sure.
reason, and maybe you kind of move your focus over towards that. You know.
Yep.
But, you know, worst case scenario, you try something for a few months and change up your plan. It's not the end of the world, you know.
Yep.
Every year, I think we should be making tweaks to our businesses anyway, which is
I know
hard.
you've
But
been saying that. And it's been giving me good stuff to think about. I know you've been on that trip for a while, and it's been good for me to hear and be like, all right, I need to be thinking like that.
well, it's just I talk about that because that's what I'm actually going through right now. That's what I'm working on. You know, like if I just leave everything the same, it's not really that's not really going to set up my family and all this. It's not going to get me where I want to be, you know, long term, you know. So I got to figure out, you got to figure out, hey, do I want to mow 2 UPS factory complexes and like that's all I do? Like what do you want? Like if you were, you know, I mentioned this in my podcast, like if I wasn't scared of anything, I wasn't worried about anything. Like what would you know, even if you wanted to stay solo, whatever, like what does my perfect business look like? You know, like my route, you know, all these things, and what do we have to do to get there? Just like it's crazy. It's crazy that anyone can be a doctor. It takes so many years of schooling, so many things they have to jump through, but it can be done if they set their mind to it and take enough years and just, you know, put in the work, you know. Same thing with this, you know, like it's so easy for us because anyone can get a pickup truck and a mower, but it's so easy for our mind to just be everywhere, like this guy you talk about. But for long term, you know, we got to be careful not let our mind be everywhere. We got to figure when you're out there mowing, think about, okay, next year, what are some things I would like to do? Or what are some changes that I would like to make? I mean, you don't have to do that, but I'm so glad that I made drastic changes. Every year I have made drastic changes, and my business was nothing like it is now 10 years ago. Even though I'm still solo, like I'm in totally different neighborhoods. I'm, you know, totally different schedule setup, different pricing setup. Everything is different. Payment setup. Nothing is the same that I did, you know, my first few years, you know, which is great. And I need to keep ratcheting up on that, you know, and it's a win-win, you know, when you're really operating it, you know, when you're in this neighborhood and you just, this is the yards you want, this is how I want to dominate this, and you're just enjoying it, they have it's a win-win, you know what I'm saying? You're enjoying it because I'm dominating, this is my package, and I'm doing what I want to do. They love it. They have a great lawn guy at a great price. This is a great setup. You know, if they don't really know what they want and you don't really know what you want, you know, that's just, it's not going to be the best, you know, either way, coming or going, you know?
Yep. That reminds me, Mike Michalowicz.
Uh-huh. The Pumpkin Plan is
Pumpkin Plan and Profit First. Those two books, I listened to them last year, and then I re-listened to them a couple weeks ago. Those have been so helpful. But somewhere in there, I think it was in there, one of those where he says, you need to figure out how to double your money in half the time. And I'm like, yeah, that is a ballsy goal.
Yes, absolutely.
Holy smokes. But it's good. It's having these crazy goals to shoot for and see how close you can get to hitting them.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like,
so I love that.
I was listening to the Green Grind podcast today. I mean, I listened to a million podcasts today, but one of the ones I listened to, and they had this guy on there, he's a young guy, and he's already has several of these, you know, he started residential and building it out. And he's starting to do like some of these condo complexes and stuff. You know, and it's cool. So I think about, in my mind, like, even in the future, yes, I'm in these neighborhoods dealing with all these people's, you know, picky things that they want, which is fine, but like, what would be what if I like had a couple communities, like I went to 2 stops the whole week and just me was there. I'm able to I'm able to service all the weird things that someone has on the board because there's no crew. It's just me. Like you told me, hey, I want, on the backside of unit 112, I want it cut in this shape. Well, a big company, they're going to continue to fail over these things. But just me, I'm going to be able to, address that. So it's possible. And I was even talking to one of my friends about that. I have a friend that works so he had a landscape company. So rewind 10 years ago or something. I had a friend a long time ago sold his business. The guy that bought his business was still, he's mowing this condo complex on the lake, all these other things. And, I started talking to the guy. I was friends with the new guy that bought it. And I was like, hey, one day when you go over to this complex, I'm going to ride with you and I'm just going to help. There's this other guy on this other Hispanic guy, him, and another guy. So I was like guy number 3 or something.
Right.
And I was like, I'm going to take a Friday. I'll meet you at 7 a.m. your shop or whatever. Get in the truck unless I just want to see how you do things, $0. I just went. We did that whole complex, several other yards. We installed pine straw, did all these things. And that was cool. I did that day. I made $0, but I seen how he serviced this whole complex thing. I seen how many people came out and tried to talk to him and complaints that he got. And that was well worth it that day, learning experience for me. And now, fast forward another 10 years later, he sold the company to someone else, and he works for the neighborhood, some of these neighborhoods that I work in. And so he'll just pull over. I'm there mowing, and he'll just pull over in the neighborhood truck and just ask me about my business and, yada, yada. For lifetime friend now,
Right.
And then he was talking about that. He's like, yeah, I was thinking about, if I didn't sell my business and I stayed in it, I was thinking about keeping this neighborhood, he mowed roadsides on this one neighborhood. He's like, I was thinking about keeping this neighborhood and this neighborhood and just doing it myself, and just doing that. I mean, he ended up just taking a job working for this neighborhood. Business ownership is not for everyone, and I realize that, but it's just so cool to try to gain perspectives. Like I said, I did not have the time. This was years ago, and I was running all over, and I had to work all day and late that Saturday so that I could work with him. I didn't tell him that, but so I could work with him Friday.
Right.
But I was just like, I want to see how people do things. I knew it was something I wanted to do. Just, outside of just growing up working with my dad and, knowing his company and stuff like that. But what else? It's worth it. I can be free labor and he'll love it. And I can at least, I can gain a friend, gain perspectives on these things. And that was 10 years later. I still have a very fruitful relationship with this guy. We still are great friends, and he knows all these different parts of the neighborhood. And now, so he works for this neighborhood and he knows me. And so I say all that to say, I think we all need to think outside the box a little bit, because there's your perfect customers are out there, but they don't know you, and we got to figure out how to make this connection to where it's to where they want to know me, just like me and you. So I'm just talking to myself out here in the truck, on this podcast. I don't know, hopefully someone listens, right? But you never know, whose life I'm come alongside you, you never know whose life I'm changing just by being your friend. You're changing my life by being my friend. So continue to do these things. You reached out to me and hey, I'm going to go on the podcast, and that was a way of thinking out of the box, and that maybe that, can help you change a little bit in your mind. And what else, connect with your competitors, I know 90% of my competitors, and I have a good relationship with 90. There's no bad talk or cutthroating or any of this stuff. Things, some of my friends that have big companies, sometimes homeowners leave them and they're looking for new lawn service. I've picked up clients that my friends have had, but they were firing him anyway. He was jacking up the price or whatever it was. He didn't want the client, so I'm not going to turn that down just because I knew the guy. But, but at the same time, I'm still friends with all the guys. I don't burn bridges. And so yeah, kind of navigating this business thing. I mean, it can be interesting. But I think if we approach it, I just try to approach as, hey, I'm just gonna be honest with this person. Just tell them, hey, this is what I'm going to charge. I need to make this money, this amount of money, and this is what we're going to do. And and I just tell them, hey, if I'm not the best lawn service you've ever had, then just fire me and get someone else. There's no contract or anything. Just try it out and see if I'm not trying to be a salesman. I'm not a salesman. Just try it out and see if see if I can perform, the way I say I am, or if not, that's fine. We'll still be friends after that. I tell the client, they're like, we'll still be friends even if you fire me from your lawn. It's fine. It's no problem. Let's, just give me a shot, try it out and see what you think, and that has worked out great for me. I have so many clusters, like even I did 9 big properties yesterday, and I only moved the truck 3 times.
Wow.
And that's great. Just being consistent. Eventually, if 10 years later you're still there mowing that lawn and it still looks good, that neighbor's going to walk over. That's just how this works. Sometimes they want to watch you for a while. And that's fine. I'll be here. You can watch me as long as you want. So I'm still trying to figure this all out myself, but I do, it is very profitable compared to how it was years ago, and I do enjoy my business more now than I ever have. But it doesn't mean it's great, and it doesn't mean I'm done with it,
Right.
And so I'm literally in the same boat as you. Like right now, this season, I had 2 people sell their houses, and one of them, it's like a couple $1 million house, but the houses on both sides are like $6 million. So they bought the client that I was doing. That client, they move and stuff, and they're gonna buy that house for 1.6 because it's a house like from the 80s where it's pretty nice. It has a pool in the back, all that. They're gonna buy that 1.6, bulldoze the house, build a different house there, because the lot, there's only so much lake property. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
So there's a good chance I probably won't get that lawn because, they're going to probably stick with whoever, does a big installation, all that.
Sure.
So even I'm in the same boat. I still want to continue in the same neighborhood. Okay, so I gotta build Google My Business. I'm gonna letter that trailer. All these things that I told you about on the podcast. I'm figuring that out. I got estimates for that. The local sign shop wants like $680, to put sticker on each side and do the lettering. So I think there is better ways to do that than that. So I'm probably going to design one myself online. And I have a friend that has a vinyl lettering machine and stuff. So I'm figuring all these things out, just like you. I don't want to spend $700 on lettering on a $2,000 trailer. Like that doesn't really make sense in my mind.
Right.
But but I do got to get my name out there somehow. It needs to look good. It doesn't need to look like, me and my cousin Eddie did this, with mailbox letters in our spare time. It needs to look good.
Right.
All these things. So these are things like real time right now in my mind. I'm dealing with it. I'm going to figure it out. It's still changes, and things. So I'm in the same boat as you is what I'm saying. And I need to make more money. I need to do all these things, just like you. So we're in this boat together, and trying to figure this out is cool because either we can work on it and work on figuring it out. Our only option is to do that, or just not think about it and just go about our life, and whoever calls in, we might take the lawn or not, and then we're going to wake up when we're 60s and 70s and like, man, my business is not good, and why, and now this sucks, and right. I want to get rid of it. I want to get out of the business, right? And this is how this happens, right? And what could I have done though if I didn't have that attitude? What could I have done with my business? What could you do with your business if we had the right attitude? What's the difference between me and you, or the guy that pouts around and does it under the table on the weekends? Him, me, and you, and the guy that has a $50 million company. Well, what's the difference? What does the $50 million guy is he special? Does he have some kind of supernatural ability? No. He's willing to talk to the right people. He's willing to take risk. He's willing to do these things that this guy, under table guy, maybe he's lazy basically in a way, because he's just taking whatever comes along, whoever finds him. If they call him and leave cash under the mat, we're just doing this thing. And then there's me and you, where we're kind of in the middle of that. We're not taking, $2 million, lines of credit and risk doing this thing right over here. But we're not over here. But we gotta figure out, how do we make this thing work? And maybe we do have a $50 million, if in the future. I don't really want that, but if that's what I'm supposed to do, I'm willing to do that. I'm going to build it the right way. I'm not going to have debt, and that's the other thing. If you start financing new trucks and mowers and stuff, that's where you start backing yourself into this corner. Because now that biweekly over there, I need that money to make this payment. You see what I mean? Then you start killing off your options. You know what I mean?
Right.
Right now I have no debt, so I mean, if I want to get rid of my entire route and start over, I can do that if I want. You know what I'm saying? So that's the freedom of that is good. And you, as you move forward and pick up more lawns, be careful of, the shiny mowers and the shiny trucks and all that. Should be very careful of that,
As you can see from my picture that I sent you, I do not have a shiny new truck.
I didn't see the picture yet, but.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
2001 Tundra.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
It is great. It's like 220,000 miles, I think. So, still got some life in it.
Oh, absolutely.
But I did jackknife it last year with the trailer and punctured a hole into the side of it. So.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah.
Still got to deal with that.
Yeah, I mean, you might get.
Yeah, the shiny new thing, at least for the truck, it is a whole lot more tempting for a shiny new mower.
It is, yeah, and there's a little more write-off advantages and that kind of thing. But still, you got to be careful, because you got to make sure you're buying the right one that's going to fit your right type of properties that you're going to do. There's all these considerations that you got to think about. If you buy a mower that's for the right price, and maybe you buy one that's slightly used or whatever, you can always sell that thing and change neighborhoods, or whatever. Maybe you start mowing in.
Man, so far, I've followed the Tony path so far.
Oh wow!
Last year I went from my 42-inch Toro to 52 Big Dog Trooper.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Which I hadn't heard of.
It's a beast of a mower. Yeah.
It is, and I liked it. I loved it, except for I could not get it to cut the way that I wanted, and I don't know what it was. But a 52 wasn't serving my purposes right.
I gotcha.
It was too big on some yards. It's not that it was too small, but it wasn't that it was too small. It was mostly just it was too big for some of the yards.
Uh-huh.
And that was like in these cookie cutter neighborhoods where they've got like each house is on a plateau and then slope and then plateau. That slope, it was too big for it, and it would just scalp, and there was no way to not scalp.
Yeah, you'd have to pull up on it, while you're riding along, which is kind of hard.
Yeah, doing that or so. But anyways, then this year I got at the beginning of the year, I think it was this year, I got the Bobcat ZT. You got the 2000, right?
Uh-huh.
I got the 3000.
Oh, that's great. But it's still like a sit-down mower like that?
It is, and it was a 61 because because I figured out I've got a 48-inch Bobcat. Now I've got a 48-inch Bobcat stand-on and a 61-inch Bad Boy stand-on.
Right. I remember you going over these things in their podcast. Yeah.
And I got rid of the 61 sit-down Bobcat.
I gotcha.
It wasn't enough power.
Right.
So that's, and I'm pretty happy with that. I know the Bad Boy, now that things are slowing down, I know I've got some tweaking to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think the deck probably needs to be leveled, and it does some weird, I don't know if it's tilted too far forward. If I turn too sharp, it's almost like, it doesn't, I guess it does scalp, but not like, scalp to the dirt. But if I turn too sharp, or even if I go backwards too fast, it's like
It's like the
it's
weight
kind of,
transfers and it pushes the deck
yeah,
down a little
something
more or something.
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think part of that's because of how the deck is built. It's it's a floating deck, but it floats a little too loosely. And I think the way that they're connected, it's not the chains,
Uh-huh.
it's these bars. I don't know. I don't know. So I know there's some tweaking there, but so far I'm digging it. And then the Bobcat, I think I'm loving the Bobcat stand on.
Yeah.
Except for the tires.
Okay.
I hate the tires because they are so thin and they're rounded. And I think you had on, I can't remember his name, the dude from Bobcat.
Uh-huh, I did. Yep.
And he specifically talked about the tires, and I understand the rationale because he was talking about they wanted it to be, the smallest point of contact for like when you turn around, it's not gonna rip stuff up. But man, it ends up being such a little point of contact that it just can start spinning
Uh-huh.
so fast.
Do you have the same ones that are like on the sit-down mowers, or is it different?
No, the tires are at least, so it's a 48 inch, and on the 48s they're only 8 inches wide,
Oh, wow.
and they're rounded. They're not square. And then I go and get on my bad boy, and those suckers, they're I
Mud
think they're
grips on there.
13.
Yeah.
I think they're 13s and they're square, and so I can ride a hill,
Right.
And but with the Bobcat, that's probably the one thing about that right now I've got to get some different tires because it does not take much at all for it to just lose traction.
Yeah,
And I
I
think
gotcha.
that
Right.
makes sense. There's just not, and even if I bring the air pressure super low, they still stay rounded.
Right.
And I'm like,
Right.
dang it.
Yeah, but I mean, $60-some each side. You can try, buy different
Yeah.
tire patterns. Can be
Do
done.
you know, will I have to stay with I don't know how tires work. When I get different ones, will I have to stay at that 8 inches, or will I be able to go any wider?
I think there is a little bit of variance there that you can, not a ton because it's still got to go down to that same rim, but I think there probably is a little bit of variance there. But surely you could get one that's just maybe constructed a little different. 8 inch, I mean, that seems really thin. On my sit down one, they're definitely not 8 inches. I mean, I see it sitting over there.
No.
They're definitely way wider than that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say way wider, but they're not 8. They're probably, I don't know, 10 or 12 or something. On the sit down one, it's probably the same tire
Yeah.
that was like on your
Yeah, I
3000 or
think those
whatever.
are 12.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. I mean, I haven't even looked at them specifically, but yeah, are you familiar with the Antigo tire? I talked
I
about,
know you were talking to
yeah,
whoever
Ron about
recently.
that. Yeah, it was great. They're a great company.
Okay.
I would, send them an email, reach out to them because they have some cool patterns and stuff. Antego, Antigo.
Okay.
And they're a tire manufacturer for mowers, and stuff.
Oh.
And they have a lot of different interesting tread patterns as well as just your normal ones that you would think about. But like you can just order them online; they'll just come in your box to your house and stuff. Because you can change those you can change those yourself on the mower. They're a little bit of a pain, but I've done it several times.
I think you can. Let me tell you, and my wife can testify. I tried last year, and boy, that got me angry.
I mean, I changed the ones on the Big Dog Trooper. I had to take them off one time because it had tubes in it when I bought it, and the tube was popped, but I couldn't get the tube out just the way it was because they had a big tube like shoved in there. It really wasn't the best setup, but someone did that, whatever. So I had to take the tire all the way off the rim, and pull that tube out and stuff. And it was tough. I wrestled around with it for a couple hours, but we got it in there. carefully.
I finally just went to a tire place and was
Yeah.
like, I need to put this on.
Yeah. Yeah, those little gains that you make, you got to not let that slip. You got to like watch the whole thing. Yeah,
It was one of the many times that YouTube lied to me. I was like, it's not that easy.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, for sure you can get different tires on that. But man, I'm excited. I'm excited about your business and the year coming up, and the Google business and stuff. Like we need to, me and you, we need to start working on that now because it needs some time to like soak in, on Google. So even if you don't plan on really mowing during the winter and stuff, it'd be good to like get it set up. At least like you have it. So that's what I'm going to start. I want to have that. I want to have something in place there like before year end. It's free to do. You just, there's a few hoops you got to jump through and whatever. But yeah, these are all things like don't wait till spring. When spring and you're already getting busy and stuff, it's too late, and all this stuff, I need to do it now, or during, before year end. At least know what I'm going to do. Google My Business thing, it's free. It just takes some, time on your part getting it set up. Make sure you have the right address even there and you want, and get some pictures together and, yada, yada. Yeah. And then, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what else, but I mean, there's a lot of opportunity out there for us, for me and for you, if we see it the right way. Or if we see it the wrong way, it feels like there's no opportunity. It just, how are we going to think about it, Yeah. So anything else you want to leave? I've held you up for an hour and 40 minutes now.
Dude, thank you for taking your time.
Well, I don't know. My advice is worth exactly what you paid for it, right? Maybe, yeah. So
maybe even more.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that, but yeah, I hope to meet you and your son. Let's try to do that expo next year. Something.
How far are you from like the Woodstock, Kennesaw area?
So I'm an hour east of Atlanta. So
okay.
So like, I'm between Atlanta and Augusta. You know what I'm saying? So like, if I go to Woodstock, you go into Atlanta, and then go up.
Right.
Like some of my wife's family lives in Canton, and that kind of thing.
That's where my parents live.
So yeah, so I'm probably a good 2 hours or so from there.
Gotcha. Okay.
From Canton. But they're way up there. So. But like I can get to kind of downtown Atlanta probably about an hour or so. Kind of depending on traffic. So I mean, I'm not super far out, but to go there and then go north, yeah, I'm probably somewhere in that hour and a half range. And yeah, that's neat. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, there's just millions of people that live just in that area that you're talking about. It's crazy.
It is nuts. And our area here is blowing up very similar to there.
Oh, I gotcha.
Everywhere. And so a lot of yards.
Absolutely. Yeah. And people nowadays in 2025, people are not everyone's mowing their own grass. More and more people are not mowing their grass,
Really?
Yes. That's a fact. Less and less people are mowing their own grass nowadays than ever. It's almost becoming like a thing, like people pay their pay their water bill, they pay the lawn guy. Like as people get more digital and more lazy and more accustomed to indoors and all these things, like if you think about it, if you rewind 100 years ago, nobody's paying no lawn service. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But now, it's just steadily. So there's more and more people every day that are not going to mow their yard next year, and they're going to want someone to do it, and they're going to get someone to do it. And if you're willing to be that guy, we got that chance. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, again, thanks, man, for taking your time. I don't want to take any more of it. I'd talk till I gotta go into work if I needed to.
Yeah. Oh, so you gotta head over there. That's cool. So I mean, 4 hours. I mean, that's I don't know. I mean, I know that seems crazy, but I guess that's still technically a pretty short shift. 4 hours a day.
So yeah, it averages 4. like today was a long one. Today I got up this morning at 1:50
Oh wow.
in the AM.
Yeah.
And then like tomorrow I got to get up at 2:30. But then I'm home by like 9.
Uh-huh.
And so that's kind of the beauty of it.
Right.
You get used to less sleep, but you're using time that you're not going to be using
Right.
doing anything else, but
Yeah.
you're able to get some income, provide this insurance.
You'd be wasting that time mostly anyway. Yeah. Cuz like we're not usually mowing before 8 or whatever anyway, so
Right. And so
you know.
if I want to, I can be mowing by 10,
Right.
which this summer has actually worked out because I would talk to my brother a lot down in Atlanta, and he would just be angry at 9 o'clock because he's like, the grass is so freaking wet still.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, I'm starting couple hours in, and it's actually kind of dry by now.
Right. And I guess technically you could get off and you could eat something, take a nap for a little bit. You could do that and then get up and start,
No, I can't. The nap will mess me up, man.
Oh, me too as well. Yeah, if I take a nap, like I'll feel way worse after the nap. But some people, I don't know. I figured maybe some people they feel refreshed if they just take like an hour nap or something. I'm not really one of those people, but that would be cool though if you could.
Hey, last thing. Have you ever heard of the YouTube channel Smarter Every Day? I know this is random.
Yes, but I wouldn't say I like really know a lot about it,
How about the podcast No Dumb Questions?
No, I haven't. I've never heard of it, I don't think.
All right. It's a recommend, and it's one of the highest compliments I could pay you. You remind me a lot of Destin Sandlin, who does the Smarter Everyday channel, and he's got a podcast called No Dumb Questions.
I don't even know. I just remember seeing it. Maybe it was suggested to me before or something like that, Smarter Every Day, but I haven't even watched it, so I wouldn't know. But if you want me to, or if you recommend it, I'll check out the podcast. That's cool.
So the recommendation is the podcast. I mean, his YouTube's awesome. He's an engineer, genius.
Mm-hmm.
But you remind me a lot of him, and that you're just you take yourself. You don't take yourself more seriously than you ought.
Well, that's great.
You're a guy that always wants to learn, wants to get smarter every day, and sure seems like you're. I don't want to float your bubble, but like you seem like a humble dude that understands you're not the most important thing in the world, and I think you would enjoy the podcast. So it's I'm not even going to try to explain it. Don't start with this last one.
Okay.
It's a strange place to start, but it's called No Dumb Questions. You should check it out. Yeah, just check it out and see what you think.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I really, really hope that I am that way and come across that way because if I did anything else, I'm really, really not special. Like I'm actually a regular lawn guy pulling weeds every day. Like I am. If I try to make myself seem any better than that, like it's just that would be just me, lying basically. So. Yeah, so that's cool. I'll check that out. Can you send me the link to it or something?
Sure.
Do you run like an Apple device?
Yeah.
I don't care. Send me the Apple link because I can just pull it up.
Will it work? Okay.
Like I won't listen to it on Apple, but I'll see what it looks like, and then I'll go over and type it in. You know what I'm saying? So I can still like look at it in the browser, and I'll see what it looks like so that I can find it in the other. You know what I'm saying? So you can still send me the Apple link if that's easy, if that's what you use. I'll find it.
Cool. Sure.
Yeah, but you're saying don't listen to the latest one. You're saying?
Don't start there.
Oh, okay.
It's good, but just don't start there.
Where do I start then?
Any others?
Just the one before the last one?
Sure. Actually, I think that one was a really good one. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, how about you just pick out one that you like, that you listen to, and send me that one? I'm going to check out the one that you send me first.
Okay.
Yeah. That's great because I'm always open to new podcast suggestions, Because if
Oh,
I
yeah.
really start running out of them, I got to listen to these ladies talking about this their sourdough recipes, and you can get really bored and start listening to this stuff. Podcast.
Audiobooks. Do you
Yes,
do audiobooks?
I do. I do
Oh,
those as well. Yeah.
man, I audiobook all the. Do you use Libby, the Libby app?
No, I don't know.
Oh, you need to jump. So Libby app, you use your local library card number.
Oh yes, but it's called different here. It's called
Oh yeah, there's a
it's
couple
called
different ones.
Hoopla. Hoopla
Yeah.
here. But
Okay.
yes, it goes through the library. Yes, we have that same thing, and it's cool. It
So
works good.
it's great.
It doesn't
And
have
if you
everything on there, but it has a lot of stuff.
if you have a friend, and this is for everybody else listening, if you're in LA or you have a friend in LA who doesn't mind letting you borrow their library card number, the LA library through Libby or Hoopla or whatever is unbelievable.
Is it like better than the others? Like, because
It's
mine
got
it's a little limited, because I'm in a
for
rural
like
area. I mean, it has
my
some stuff, but
county, the ebook library in my county is like 5,000 ebooks. If you go to Wake County, which is the next county over and is pretty big, it's like 10,000 audiobooks. The LA library has, I believe it's like 85,000 audiobooks.
oh wow, so they got pretty much everything on there.
It's everything. So
Yeah.
if you know anybody over there,
Which I
and you
don't.
wanna-
I've never even been there before.
because
So-
they won't let you pay. I've called and like, can I pay to just
Right.
let me use Libby? And they're like, nope. I'm like, come on. So I've got an old college friend
Oh, that's great.
that's
You-
out there.
You must have a pretty good friend, like putting out the effort to like give you his card number and all that. Most people they're not going to go through all that, even if they're your friend.
It's true. Well, we have a common bond in C.S. Lewis, and so
Oh, okay. Yeah.
there's always C.S. Lewis books in there that either one of us are listening to.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you, bud. Thank you for your time. Send me the podcast, and I'll look it up, and
All right.
we'll talk again soon. Yeah.
Yes.
Let's get on the line this winter. Like in the next couple months again, if you're willing to do that.
Yeah, man.
All right, bud. Talk to you soon.
All right. All right. Thanks, Tony.
See ya. There we have it, guys. That was great. Yeah, he's got to get to bed. I got to get to bed. But it was a great time, great night. Appreciate you guys. See ya.